Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan Steve Malicious here with the Moto G Stylus 5G. Not to be confused with the Moto G Stylus 2021 edition, which came out earlier this year, nor to be confused with the Moto G Stylus 2020, which was my budget phone, my sub $300 budget device from last year. When they came out with the one in February, I was a little let down. I didn't like the specs. I was like, just seemed like a rehash. I didn't particularly like the redesign. I was perfectly happy with my 2021. It was getting updates. It was still running well. I said, I'm going to hold off and see what they come out with next year. But later this year, they came out with a 5G version. So I picked it up. I said, hey, let's see what is improved. The first day, this is going to be a 48-hour kind of initial impression stuff before we get to the full review next week. So if you want to know something specific about this device, leave me a question down in the comment section. But my first day with this device, I was disappointed. Not by the performance, not by the feature set, the functionality, the operating system, the battery life, not by any of that stuff. Just let down by the price, because you're talking $399 for this one, as opposed to the one that I got originally in 2020 for $279. And at $279, the original Moto G Stylus punched well above its weight. Best in class screen, 1080p, was great when all the other ones in that price range were around 720p. You had the great battery life on the device. You had the 128 gigs of storage, expandable storage. You had the headphone jack, the stylus functionality, clean install of Android, all that stuff at a price that was really the great build quality, the best-in-class camera, which worked really well, and all that for a price that you wouldn't necessarily expect. At $400, you start expecting that stuff, and it becomes less about what this phone packs in and more about what it doesn't have. It still has all the great stuff that you love about the original. It still has the great performance. It still has that stock Android with that light Motorola skin, which gets you, of course, the fan favorite, the Moto gestures. You could do that and they work just fine. It still has a phenomenal 48 megapixel camera, depth sensor. It still does the color stuff, which we'll go over, that color pinpoint things where it draws out every color except one that you pick in the camera system. Real-time processing of that in the viewfinder, which we'll show in the full review. Still has a fantastic battery life. We'll talk about that in a second. Upgraded internals, 6 gigs of RAM now, 256 gigs of storage base. Larger screen, 6.8 inch display, which is still a 1080p. So it gives you a lot more. But again, at $400, because the competition is so stiff, it's stuff you expect. And it doesn't have a higher hertz refresh rate, doesn't have 90 hertz on the refresh rate. It doesn't have faster charging. Some of these things that you may come to expect in devices starting in this price range. It's running a Snapdragon 480 with the 5G modem. 480, technically on paper, when you start getting into some of the specs, double the performance of the 665 in the original. But when you start looking at multi-core and all the rest of that stuff, my eyes start to glaze over. But there is a noticeable difference in performance. It is snappier, and you will enjoy it. So the first day, like I said, was about me kind of being disappointed about the fact that this didn't punch above its weight. But the second day was me getting used to the device and just liking what it does provide. The 6 gigs of RAM, you notice that difference. It's great. Things are cached. Your apps are fast. It's responsive. The screen has always been nice on these. Now it's just bigger. The brightness is fantastic on these. I like the change they made to the pen, the Moto Stylus. Before, it didn't have any spring-loaded functionality. You just kind of pulled it out and had to push it back in. This one's spring-loaded, which is nice. And also, any orientation in the cylinder works. So the silo, I'm sorry, you can't say cylinder, the silo. So anyway, there's no one way that it works. As long as you're going in with that mesh tip first, it's going to click right in. You can roll it as much as you want and put it in, and it works just fine. Headphone jack, you get USB-C. Good performance there. Camera is still great. I'll throw up a quick shot here, but we're going to do more with that in the full review. I like the design. I like this color Cosmic Emerald. I like the build. It's still very solid, even though it's a plastic build quality stuff. I love the flat display. I love the design, little hole punch. So it does give you a lot of stuff for that $400. What's missing? Wireless charging is missing as well. So you can kind of see what you're missing a little bit. But even though that is missing, 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And as far as Android 11 is concerned, this is the battery champion. This is the best battery life device I have seen on Android 11 yet. And whether that has to do with the 480 process chipset or something like that, or maybe they had more time to put in some optimizations, but you're looking at, they claim 2-day battery life, and that's going to depend on your usage. Easily, the first day, max brightness, games, Pokemon Go, 7 hours plus of screen on time. And if you did screen it, 75%, and put on some of the battery saving stuff, you could push 8 or even 9, which is incredible on Android 11. And for not lame performance either. It's not like it's running on a potato and you're kind of chugging along just to be able to scroll. You're getting nice, smooth, snappy performance on a device that's getting 7+ hours of screen on time on Android 11. Which, when you think about some of these other devices struggling to get to 3.5, 4 hours, that might be worth your money, right? That might be worth the extra $100. Because overall, if you enjoy Moto products and what they bring, and they do bring something different, you'll like this phone. And that's where we are right now. Like I said, we're going to use it the rest of the week. We're going to do a kind of the week review, the full thing, kind of compare it a little bit more to the original Moto G Stylus. But overall, once you kind of get over that price point, which isn't incredible, it's not like we're talking $400 where they're ripping you off. It just doesn't do more. It does what it needs to do to be worth the money. And to be quite honest, I think it puts the money where it counts. It put it in RAM, it put it in storage, it put it in a nice screen, the build quality, the battery life, the performance is good. So when you're spreading around your dollars, this might be pound for pound pretty good because it's not wasting out on specs you don't particularly need that don't affect your everyday experience and the bottom line. We'll keep up with the review of it. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. You got that physical fingerprint reader in the back, which is always nice as well. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-alicious day.